Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So it's been a while since I made a video. I wanted to give this one some time before I made it because I wanted to play some of Discovery Arc 2 and I wanted to get the new technology all researched, and whew, it was hefty in costs to let you guys know. I think so in order, and this is what I'm talking about, it's probably a good idea if I go over there and show you guys. So the new research that they launched with Discovery Arc 2 is the... Alright, so the USS Discovery summoning right here. So you need to max Discovery impulse speed, cultivated mycelium jump, and I believe you need to work on your warp range. And that one just kind of makes sense so that your ship goes further. So, as you guys can see, I maxed out mycelium jump efficiency, the Discovery impulse speed, and I did get the Discovery summoning. And my warp range right now on my Discovery is, with a Scotty, it's a warp 44. So it can go pretty far in space. So this was the interesting thing that I saw, is I had about 3,500 Spore drive parts, and I dumped them in here, and I wasn't even like halfway. I think I got 1 out of 3 on Discovery Impulse Speed, and maybe like 6 out of 10 for cultivated mycelium jump efficiency. So I had to buy that pack for the research. And so that allowed me to max out Discovery Impulse Speed and max out Cultivated Mycelium Jump Efficiency, but I didn't have anything left over for the USS Discovery Summoning. And I was like, well, I just got scope lead, because I assumed that that research pack was to complete the research. So you still need about 5,300 Spore drive parts after you buy that initial pack, and after I've already used 3,500 Spore drive parts. So we're talking about 8,500 to 9,000 parts. So I found, let's see if it's still in here. So the research pack is garbage. That one's garbage. It's this one right here, the USS Discovery Upgrade Pack. It was the only pack that had over 5,000 Spore drive components in it, and so I bought this one again. I had bought it before to bring my USS Discovery up to tier 5, and I had to buy it again. So I would say this research in itself will cost you, depending on how many Spore drive parts you have, cost you between $200 and $300. A price tag for a simple piece of research. So you're really going to want to go into it thinking about how much you're going to be using it, knowing that you're going to be using mycelium up when you start using it. So if you haven't mined a whole lot of it, you're going to have to go back and start mining some mycelium as well. However, for me, I hate the warp times. I will warp somewhere, it'll take me 20 minutes, I'll put down my game, and I'll be destroyed. So for me, it makes a lot of sense. I basically jump everywhere now. I don't use my warp drive at all. I might do it if I'm putting my game down and I need to recall my ships, so I'll hit recall and put my game down, because I'm not really watching it, I'm not really in it. But if I'm in it and I'm trying to smash out events, you're dang right, I am going to jump over to swarm space, shoot my hostiles, die, jump back to swarm space again, shoot my hostiles, be done. I'll do the same thing with hunting my faction, jump into the faction and die, and then do it again. And it takes so much less time for me on this game. It's really a huge time saver more than anything. However, there is a lot of strategy with it as well. So, unlike the warp drive, which has about a 6-second delay. This is immediate. So you immediately jump. So if somebody's coming after you and you're like, oh my God, I got to get out of here, you can just jump out of the system really quick. And the best way to do that is to have your Discovery docked at home. If it's docked at home, then all of your ships immediately, when they jump, they will come back right here, right outside your base. And then you just recall them, put them in real quick. It was probably one of the best things for the PvP event that we had, is all the systems were empty. And so what I had done is I jumped to my faction system, was shooting some hostiles, and I'll have to give a shout out to Mens Rea. He came in, and I knew what he was there for. He was there to kill me. So I was shooting some hostiles, and I'm like, peace out. and I jumped back to base and recalled and quickly had my ship in my base. And the unfortunate thing is he doesn't really have too much time to react because of the immediacy of me leaving the system really quick. So if you are, playing the game and you do find yourself, getting hunted a lot, if you really want to irritate those PvP people, this is definitely a way to do it. Also, miners, if you're swapping out miners, this is probably one of the best things to just quickly recall them right away and go back there, put your miner back on, and you're good to go. So you don't really have to waste all that time warping anymore. I think that is probably the number one thing for me that is so beneficial with this. So for me, it was worth it because, I make these videos for everyone. I play the game, and I'm a big person with game life balance, and this game will definitely, take a lot of time with you if, you're using traditional warp speed. So that has been, I have no regrets about buying it. It was about $200 I spent. I have no regrets about buying it. It was totally an investment worth my while. A lot of people would disagree, and that's fine. But for me, it made sense. One question that had come up is, if you're in Borg space, do you only need to use one token? So right now, my Discovery, and I just bought my Vidar, so don't make fun of my tier 1 Vidar, but that's all I really have. When I was doing my Vidar videos, I was on server 32, so that account has a tier 6 Vidar. So just bought my Vidar, and I really want to test this. So I'm in Metra Alpha, one of the Borg systems, swarming with the Borg hostiles, and this way I can kind of show you guys how it works. So what you need is your Discovery to be stationary, which means it's got to be at a stop. And as long as it's at a stop, and yes, I know the crew is all over the place on a couple of these ships, and that's not the purpose of this video. And if you can see by Yuki, there's that blue diamond. You just click on that, and you immediately can summon any of your ships. So I'm gonna summon the Vidar. And as you guys can see, it's still going to take a token to get into that space. Even though my Discovery is already there and I'm porting a ship directly, it's still going to take a token. And I'm not sure. That was weird. That was not the way it was supposed to work. It's supposed to port in right at my Discovery, so it doesn't go to the edge of the space. That was really strange. Hopefully that's not a bug. But it's supposed to port in directly by the Discovery. So as you guys can see how this would be very beneficial if you want to get home really quick and you have a Discovery at home. I think the problem or the strategy would come into play is if you're out in open open space and you have your discovery there and you're PvPing, and how do you get your ships there quick enough without getting your discovery destroyed? So I think that would definitely be a piece to it. But for me, I don't do a ton of PvP. I do some raiding, but I'm really big fan of cooperative play or playing against the AI. So for me, this makes a lot of sense because a lot of people can't get me. So I think it's definitely fun and definitely worth it. I think this is the huge highlight of this arc. It is hugely overpriced, massively overpriced. I will not deny that. This is definitely something you will want to grind your way, because if you only have a tier 1 discovery or tier 2, you have to figure out where you want to be investing those Spore Drive parts, because as you remember, the tier of your discovery determines the tier of your refinery. So you don't necessarily want to be investing the Spore Drive parts into the research when you can be increasing that refinery, increasing the rate of return you have on those discovery tokens. So that's another thing to keep in mind. So it really depends on your play style. If you think this is something that you really need and really want to prioritize, definitely go for it. Just so you know, it's probably going to take about 13,000 Spore Drive parts. Give or take. That's approximately how much it took me. And if you're nowhere near there, you're definitely going to have to grind it out and figure out exactly at which tier you want your discovery. So the other thing I do want to talk about is the officers. We got a very interesting officer with this arc. As many of you know and have heard, Saru got fixed in the latest patch. So he is suppressing critical hits from players, from what I've heard. So I suggest everyone definitely play with him. But we got a new queen into the game. And this time, it's not a boar queen, but she is the burning queen. So Giorgio, if she works exactly like her officer ability states, it says at the beginning of each round, Giorgio has a 50% chance of burning the opponent's ship for 2 rounds. So this is very different from Nero. Remember that Nero burns at the end of the round, so it's only effective for 1 round. Giorgio is burning for the beginning of the round, so it's going to be effective for 2 rounds. So Giorgio, unless you're synergizing with a Romulan crew setup, she is definitely going to be replacing Nero on a lot of crew setups. Expect to start to see her a lot more often. I think the challenge will definitely be getting her. It is definitely more difficult to get these epic officers at launch when they launch into the game. However, if they do have a pack, with a total unlock of Giorgio, expect to see her everywhere. I mean, no one is going to pass her up, especially if they have an augur. The augur relies on burning. Giorgio is going to be able to burn the opponent for 2 rounds. She's going to be a huge no-brainer of somebody you're going to want to get. So, other than that, we did get Tilly. We did get another Stamets, which I guess I understand getting the regular version Stamets, but I really hope they have a lot of other crew that they're going to be releasing, because there are some crew from the Discovery that we are missing. So I'm really curious. I really want Commander Arium. I really want Dr. Culber. I really want the captain from season 2. Captain, oh God, his name is escaping me. But I would love to see him in the game as well. So we definitely have more crew members to see from Discovery. And I just want to do a huge shout out to that bridge crew on Discovery. They don't really get enough mention and a lot of screen time, but they definitely deserve to be into the game as well. So Scopely, definitely work on that. But So far, I think the new discovery research is the first time. I'm trying to think if we've seen strategy like this before. I don't think I don't think we have. I think on the epic ships with epic crew, there's definitely a lot of strategy at play there. But for the common players, there really isn't. So I'm really excited to kind of see where it goes from here. I think I don't think it's good news for PvP players because they're just they're going to have targets and those targets are just going to disappear. So I remember when the PvP players were getting upset about hiding under the planet. Just imagine the ship just disappears and there's nothing you can do about it. So I am really loving it for that reason. But definitely, leave me your feedback. We got those new surge events. And there is a lot of ignorance going on with those. I heard that I dirty killed this guy because he was on the spawn spot. There's like 15 people on a spawn spot. That's just the nature of those events. I've been doing them myself. I like to do them like twice a day and you're done. I like to do them really late at night or really early in the morning, or set an alarm at 3 a.m. and get up and do them myself. I know that doesn't fit for a lot of people, but I like to do things where people aren't being stupid. That's just my personal play style. So definitely let me know what you guys are thinking about those events. I'm kind of hoping that there's going to be, some new events coming up, because it's definitely feeling a recycling going on of events. So I'm really curious where long term where these discovery tokens are going to come from, because I would assume that the discovery tokens have to be dropping daily. They can't just put out a one-day event. No one would have a tier nothing discovery. So I'm really curious long term where those discovery tokens are going to come from. I'm still looking forward to Arc 3 of Discovery because I still think that we're going to be able to port over to the mirror universe. I'm clinging I'm clinging on to that total guess there. So hopefully we can see something really cool in Arc 3, but then again, it is Scopely. I'm very well aware of where my expectations should be. I will still have that ray of hope that they can produce something really cool for Star Trek Discovery. So with that, if you enjoyed this video, like it or dislike it, hit that subscribe and that bell for future notifications on future content. I am working on a PvP player guide for multiple different kinds of ships. And then definitely I'm going to be doing a video on the new content that they are going to be releasing sometime in the future. I think some of that looks really interesting myself. So thank you guys so much for watching. Take care, and I'll talk with you later.